world of airplane recycling, he was a quality control engineer in the flight test departments of Boeing and McDonnell Douglas. Once responsible for building airplanes, he's now in the business of taking them apart.
To remove an engine or a landing gear, for that matter, on a 747 looks like a huge project, but for the most part it requires a great deal of finesse and the right equipment. Believe it or not, there's only 3 bolts that hold it on. So that's pretty quick and easy, but there are many lines, fittings, hoses, and what have you that need to be undone, and you need to know what you're doing. Safety's a factor, and you don't want to damage anything either.
Once the engines are safely removed, part-out crews are next in line to handle the airplane. Their job is to strip the interior of the jetliner, beginning with the cockpit.
First thing we go for in the cockpit would be the gauges, the instruments, and the flight controls. Then in so-called black boxes in the avionics compartment, black boxes being weather radar, electronic and electrical control boxes. Then beyond that will be the mechanical and the hydraulic actuators, pumps.
Though they are in the business of recycling, there are a number of items that the part-out companies will not resell. These range from batteries to high-pressure items such as hydraulic reservoirs and filters, many of which are considered hazardous materials. These particular components require handling by specialists trained in their disposal. From the mechanics to the smelters, parting out aircraft giants requires the talents of many individuals, and although the part-out industry itself is not subject to federal regulation, the parts they remove are. Mechanics licensed by the Federal Aviation Administration carefully remove each part and individually tag them. Once the item is tagged, the mechanic signs his license number to it, establishing a trace that follows the part through the whole recycling process: removal, overhaul, and finally installation into another aircraft.
When we remove these parts from the aircraft, we are concerned that they will be safe, although this is only the first step in that process of returning them to service. If it is obvious a part is not good, we will not bother with it. We will scrap it on the spot. If it seems to be good in a as removed condition, as we call it, we will tag it, certify it, and ready it to move on to a repair shop for overhaul as needed. None of these parts will go back on an aircraft in the condition they come off. But there again, at each step, each and every one of us are concerned about the ultimate safety.
Once an aircraft's reusable parts have been removed, tagged, and sent for overhaul, the part-out company will then sell off the remaining bits and pieces.
We get to the point where all of the actuators, pumps, as I said, engines, mechanical gearboxes and so forth, and previously mentioned black boxes, all of that is removed. That's the greatest value. We still have a lot of interior, seats, and so forth. Those can be sold. There's a good deal of labor in removing those. But once we get that out, we'd like to have it down to a bare fuselage. So there's really not much more than aluminum and some steel. At that point, the landing gear would still be under it, so we can tow it to the far side of the airport where it is in fact cut and demolished and moved on as a scrap material for recycling.
Though scrapping aircraft is a regular part of today's aviation industry, it could hardly have been imagined in the dream of 2 brothers over 100 years ago.